Coming up on SAU News, a new historical film about the origins of the Adventist Church gets an advanced screening in Chattanooga.
And there was darkness upon the face of the earth. At least that's what it felt like during this week's solar eclipse. We'll show you where students saw it both on and off campus.
The gym masters put their athletic skills on display during their annual home show.
All these stories and more coming up. SAU News starts now. Welcome to SAU News. I'm Chidi Onije.
And I'm Lisbeth Rodriguez-Dieppe. Our newscast is brought to you by SJC Productions and the School of Journalism and Communication. Last weekend was a big one for our gym masters. It was their annual home show where they showcased everything the team has been working on all year. The gymnastics group has been on the road touring, but this was their show just for Southern and the surrounding community.
I thought it was really cool. I saw it last year and it always gets better. And I love the different themes they had. Like this time it was movies and they had all kinds of different movies to do. I loved it.
SAU News reporter Mel Awiti covered the home show and joins us in the studio. How's it going, Mel?
Good, it's good to be here.
What impressed you most about the show, Mel?
Well, where to start? Our gym masters are so talented and they must have trained so many hours to perform at that level they did. But they also help train younger kids that they call mini masters. And I was really amazed at how right before they're about to put on this 2-hour show, they go and they guide these younger kids through their routine and they go do their show, and that was really admirable.
So this year's theme was a night at the movies. Did you have a favorite routine?
Yeah, I had two actually. I'm a huge Marvel fan, and they actually did one of their acts to the Avengers theme. And the second favorite was the Barbie act. The boys wore light blue and the girls had pink leotards, and it was really cute.
Did anything surprise you?
Yeah, well, there was actually over 16 acts, and that meant over 16 costume changes, so that was really surprising. And they also ended out with the story of the resurrection of Christ, which was really beautiful in the way to end out. And also we just had Easter. And you could really tell and hear and see the love and the support from the audience and the team members, and I really recommend that everyone goes next year.
Well, Mel, thanks for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Earlier this week, many of us witnessed a solar eclipse, although only a partial eclipse here in Collegedale. Some professors let students out of class early to see the moon pass in front of the sun. Many stood outside campus buildings wearing the solar eclipse glasses the physics club sold them as a fundraiser, selling out just before the big event. Even though there was a little bit of cloud cover, it helped some students to be able to see the eclipse without the help of the glasses.
Some students were not content with just a partial eclipse as seen here on campus. SAU News reporter Victor Odala traveled with a group to witness a total solar eclipse.
Victor joins us in the studio. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So we know you're a great photographer, but what else made you want to just drive out there?
Well, thank you. So in 2017, I actually saw the solar eclipse, and this time I armed myself with a camera and a solar filter to capture the rare moments in the sky. Our journey to see the total eclipse took us north on a 6-hour drive to Indiana. When we arrived at the campsite, we discovered we weren't the only ones. This year, the path of totality passed through highly populated areas including states like Indiana, Texas, and Ohio, compared to Collegedale, which only had 85% complete coverage.
What inspired me? I think the journey and the adventure of it. Back at home we have, I think, like up to 85-90% coverage, which essentially is the same thing we're seeing right here. But when it gets completely fully dark, that's going to be super cool, and it's a surreal thing to see.
When viewing the eclipse, it's important to have your safety on.
That's where you go, way out there.
When the moment arrived and the moon blocked out the sun, everyone watching was in awe.
think my favorite part was probably just like the reaction of everybody around, like the cheering, the little kids, just like, ah! It was really cool.
It was really weird. Like the light was really weird. It was like a 360 sunset, like around the whole horizon. It was beautiful.
After the cheers died down, it was strangely quiet with only sounds of birds. When the eclipse finished, people packed up, rushed to their cars to try and make it home before the traffic jams. Actually, our drive back to Southern only took an hour extra with little to no traffic.
And what will be your lasting memory of your eclipse adventure?
So one of the best moments that happened was right before the eclipse, and the colors really shifted and they were super saturated. It felt like being in a fishbowl, and it was peaceful.
So is this like your thing now? Are you looking forward for the next eclipse?
So I'm not really sure, but it'll be a while before the next one happens, and it's supposed to happen in 2045.
Well, thank you for your story, and those are some really awesome pictures. Student workers on campus are feeling extra appreciated this week as departments celebrated their hard work. Cindy Hernandez has the story.
Student Appreciation Week is a way of celebrating the unsung heroes of the university. Southern employs about 1,400 students each school year, and each worker is important for how the university runs. From planting seasonal flowers to maintaining the campus grounds, landscape services help to improve the overall look of campus.
I'm on the mowing crew, so especially when we have grass, I'm mowing, weeding, blowing off, and then in the winter we do a lot of like odd jobs, maybe mulching, blowing leaves, etc.
Buildings like the Beat Center also require student workers and front desk to check out equipment. Campus eateries like CK2 are a perfect job for those who enjoy customer service. The university celebrated the hard work of students this week with treats like fruit cups, pizza, and more. The student employee coordinator at Southern says that it's underrated jobs like the cafeteria that make a difference.
So without them, we would really struggle to even stay open because we are really thankful to have them help with all of our defense buildings and facilities and just keeping Southern beautiful.
While there's a variety of jobs on campus and different ways that employers can say thank you, it's little treats like this one that can feel student workers feel appreciated.
For SAU News, I'm Cindy Hernandez.
Looking for an on-campus job? Opportunities are posted weekly on the online student job board.
The University Board of Trustees approved a tuition increase that takes effect for the next school year. University President Ken Shaw says the 6.8% increase means students will likely pay about $165 more per month in tuition. The Southern Accent reports one reason for the increase is a 5% cost of living hike for Southern employees. The Vice President for Financial Administration says keeping up with the high inflation is another contributing factor. Inflation impacts the school's operating expenses through higher utility, labor, and other costs.
I'm really shocked that the tuition rate is going up because my parents have to pay more to help me to stay in college, because without it, then what is there to hope?
Even with the tuition increase, university officials say Southern is still on the lower end of the tuition spectrum compared to other Adventist universities in the United States.
Now that the weather has warmed up, you can grab your picnic blanket and head out to the first lawn Vespers of the year. Ministry and Missions use lights to illuminate the Goliath Wall for the traditional Friday night program. Instead of the usual 2 services, students came together for one big worship session. With a massive turnout, including community members, the lawn was full of people, some even relaxing on Goliath Wall itself. Adding to the experience, students had the chance to partake in communion. After Vespers, students shared how the Easter weekend celebration carried over into Vespers.
It's a stressful time of year, especially for those who lack worship and enrichment credits. According to university policy, students must earn a certain quota of credits each semester before they can pre-register for fall classes. Students earn credits by attending worship services, convocations, and other cultural events on campus. But toward the end of semester, meeting these credit quotas has proven challenging for some students. Whether due to scheduling conflicts or simply oversight, many now face the prospect of being unable to register for fall classes. According to the student handbook, students who have not completed at least 50% of the required credits will be unable to register for the following semester.
There were lights, cameras, and plenty of action last week as reporter Nick Radavoyevich takes us to the SonScreen Film Festival.
Last weekend, students from Southern's Visual Arts Department participated in the SonScreen Film Festival, held in Loma Linda University Church in California. SonScreen is a place for students to share their creative talents and storytelling abilities with other artists in the community, as well as draw inspiration from other projects. Each year, the festival holds a pitch competition where aspiring filmmakers have 10 minutes to pitch a film idea to a panel of judges. The pitch competition winners receive prize money to help finance their passion projects. A student filmmaker from Southern made a big impression on the judges.
SonScreen was awesome. I won first place in the pitch competition. The prize is $3,500, which I'm planning on using for my senior project. And that's pretty much, that will cover pretty much half of what I'm expecting to spend on it. And it's great for me because honestly, before this, I had $0 so far. So now I got that, which is gonna help a lot.
SonScreen usually gets a pretty diverse turnout with students from Southern, Walla Walla, Andrews, Pacific Union, Southwestern, and even some high schools. Students from those schools who submit films usually have their eyes set on one of these, a Sunny Award. This year, Southern took home 5 awards, with one of those Southern students winning 2.
SonScreen turned out to be very exciting and very surprising for me. I won Best Documentary and Best in Festival. I was really pessimistic about my project because I felt like it kind of was different from a lot of the projects there, and I didn't think it would fit in with everything else, but that ended up being its strength, I think.
At the end of the day, the awards aren't the only thing worth taking home. Inspiration, new connections, and positive experiences are all just as valuable. I'm Nick Radavoyevich for SAU News.
SonScreen is not exclusive to just students and film majors. Anyone wanting to attend next year can buy themselves tickets at sunscreen.com. From SonScreen to big screen, you've probably seen the social media ads for it, a new historical movie about the founders of the Adventist Church. We have a special connection with the film, and she's right here.
Yep, it's me. In full disclosure, besides reporting for SAU News, I've been interning with Hope Studios, the cinematic arm of Hope Channel International. Hope Studios asked me to help them with their PR and marketing for their new film called The Hopeful. Hope Studios has booked out the theaters for their new film called The Hopeful. There's an advanced screening going on here right now in Chattanooga only. But you may be asking yourself, what is The Hopeful? Emmy Award-winning director Cal Portbury's The Hopeful follows the origin story of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, a church that found hope through adversity. The feature film recreates the true story of a community whose lives are transformed as they learn what it truly means to wait for Jesus. The Hopeful launches cinema evangelism as it is the first SDA film in theaters that alumni from Southern have been able to be a part of.
I went to school here at Southern Adventist University for a long time, and it was a fantastic time, so glad we could bring the movie back home.
Regal Cinema near Hamilton Place hosted more than 400 people, including non-Adventists. Southern students served as ushers, photographers, and film crew, and they also watched the film.
I've been serving as an usher, and I've been just talking to people about the movie, seeing their excitement levels, sharing these cards so that they can share with other people this wonderful movie, this wonderful film, and it's been a blast, honestly.
Guests networked, watched the film, and shared impressions.
Growing up, I'd always watch movies on Sabbath, but they'd never be like Adventist, and to finally have something that was my belief and that showed the history of my belief, that really touched me, and I was really excited about that.
It's been an amazing night here in Chattanooga. We had 7 theaters filled with over 400 people from all different walks of life, leaving with a sense of hope. We're so excited to see where The Hopeful will go next. The Hopeful will air in more than 900 theaters across the U.S. only on 2 days, April 17 and 18. Visit thehopefulmovie.com for more information and tickets.
I was there at the Chattanooga advanced screening, and what I liked the most was the music soundtrack and the high production value. Now, Lizbeth, what do you say to people who think it's just a repackaging of an earlier Adventist film called Tell the World?
I think the best way to describe it is Tell the World was really for an Adventist audience, and The Hopeful is now open for anyone, whether or not you have that Adventist background or not. So we're excited to see how it goes.
And I hear students may be able to earn credit by watching the film.
Yes, we'd love for students to be involved in watching the films, so stay tuned in your emails. We'll be sending out instructions on how to get credit for watching The Hopeful.
Thanks, Lizbeth. All this experience is going to look great on your resume.
Thanks. The culminating event for any college fine art student is the senior show. That's what you'll find right now in the Gallery of School of Visual Art and Design. 21-year-old Sydney Biscoff, seen here with her aunt, is completing her BFA. She works in multiple mediums, including oil painting, watercolor, ink, drawings, and ceramics. The North Carolina native describes herself as a quiet person and will often absorb the world in silence, but it has allowed her to observe closely and notice moments that often go unnoticed. Her goal, she says, is to inspire others to create and seek beauty.
The intersection of art and faith brought students and visiting scholars together last weekend. For the first time, Southern hosted the Illuminate Conference that featured workshops and performances. Many of the workshops were visual and hands-on. They included hymn arranging, prayer writing, and blackout poetry. Another workshop was all about the practice of drumming. The instructor said rhythm and restoration can be therapy to one's soul, and it's even been used to heal traumatized youth. Workshop goers learned the history of drumming and how to correctly drum. SAU News reporter Kenneth Salmon described the experience as highly therapeutic.
SAU News is a student-run production here in Southern School of Journalism and Communication. I'm Lizbeth Rodriguez-Dieb.
And I'm Chidi Onije. Do you have a newsworthy story? Message us on Instagram at SAU_news.
And from all of us here at SAU News and SJC Productions, thanks for watching and have a great week.